Hey guys, welcome back to Strand Farm, where we grow independent together. Today, we're gonna make Ashley's garden box another wedge split lumber layer taller. But first, let's go up to that girdled tree I fell back in season 3, episode 8. I wanna show you guys how this branch, this giant oak branch that was holding up that girdled tree from falling, how it ended up falling itself. That branch, when it came down, it just took out the area at the base of the stump of the girdled oak tree. Good thing we weren't there when that fell, because that really would have hurt. Let's go check it out. All right, we are at ground zero of the girdled oak tree that we fell in season 3, episode 8. And look at this tree. I counted 97 rings on this stump, which could mean that this oak tree is 97 years old, or it could be 50 years old. I don't know. But check this out. That's the oak tree right up here that had the branch that went out this way that prevented the girdled tree from felling. Now later on that evening, after it started raining, Ashley heard a loud crash and we knew that this tree came down. But I was not expecting to find the oak branch of this tree right here to have come down like so. This tree is huge. I call it a tree, but it's actually a branch. This branch is gigantic. And what I think happened was the weight of the girdled tree against that branch was so heavy that eventually it cracked right there, and it released the tree and it tipped down. The branch itself tipped down, and then it fell straight down onto its limbs here, because you can see all this damage on my mountain laurel. Must have dropped right here, poof, and then fell this way, just crushing the ground right here. This is why you gotta get out of the felling area to a safe spot when you fell a tree in the woods, because you just don't know how some of these other branches are gonna come down if they get hit by your intended tree. Let's go back and build up this garden box. If you haven't seen that video of felling the girdled tree, go back and check it out. It's pretty fun. And if you want to go back even further, you can go back to our, shoot, I think it's our first season. But over 2 years ago, we did the girdling of this tree, and that's a great video too. And we talk more about that process and show you exactly what we did there. Let's go to the lumber yard and select ourselves a wedge split board. This one's gonna be heavy. It's 11 feet, 9 inches. 12 feet. That'll do. Now these are half logs, not a quarter log. They're heavy. Woo! I'm gonna take a break. It's at this stage in the garden bed building that I'd like to start leveling out this steep terrain that we live on. And I'm gonna do it with the garden bogs. Look how far down slope the bottom of this box is. It needs to come up. This bottom board needs to be 6 inches taller than that top addition in order for me to level this bed out. It's weird how crooked seems straight when you live on a slope like ours. If I can figure out a way to put this bottom board on at the height that it's at, we would be level. So maybe I don't even add a board to the top side this year. This is going to turn into a cold frame. I'm still trying to figure out exactly how I want to do that. Let's slice some of this bottom bark off. I'll clean that up a little bit more, but I've got the bark off between this board and this board so I don't get soil leakage during the year. It's something that we've noticed with our first year and second year bed is that we get soil leakage at the bottom. I'm probably going to put a trim board down there and prevent that going forward, but I'm going to try to mitigate it as much as possible today for this next layer. This looks pretty good. Here at Strand Farm, we call this edge good enough. All right, now we'll cut this area out so it can fit snug on this second layer board. And we'll do the same thing on this side. If I cut down into here and create a little pocket for my wood to sit in, it will fit better than if I just cut here. Isn't that neat? I'll just clean that up a little. I know it's not wide enough yet, but once you make your cuts, you can't undo them. Let's take some of this bark off, because you know that this bark is going to fall away eventually. That sits down in, but it wants to rotate out. So now I'm going to cut some off this top board. Sweet. That's snug like a bug in a rug. Check this out. That'll be great. Now I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side. Since none of these boards are perfect and they all have certain curves and what have you, to be lined up perfectly on that end, I have to be a little off kilter on this side. But that's okay. Wow. That's pretty darn good. So you see that gap? You've got that gap there. However, as I run down, it tightens up. It stays tight all the way down. So what I do is I can just take another piece of wood and just kind of wedge it in there and secure it, and that'd keep leakage. Well, it may not look super pretty from this side, but it does look super pretty on this side. And is it functional? Absolutely. Is it good enough? Of course it is. Let's see how it levels out. That's pretty close. This low end right here is level with the top of this end right here. Can you believe it? So I'll need to find a board and wedge split something that kind of corrects this angle, makes this box look more square. And that'll help secure this and keep it from rolling forward. And I gotta do the same thing over here. So that'll be the next part. It's getting late and I'm getting tired, so I might finish this one another day. We've made progress though. See y'all next time.